worth a lot more than that now. So he's stoked.
No, it looks pretty sweet. You should definitely make an NFT out of it if you can.
Yeah, that's kind of the hard part with the Rare Art Lab ones, they're ERC20s. So I'm kind of being true to the art side of it and not completely duplicating it, but it's actually on the short list of with my new stuff. I know how to make it look cool.
Well, what is it exactly? Like I see like two little faces there. I see a
here,
triangle.
let me hold on one sec. I can just you want me to walk you up to it?
Yeah, sure.
Let me just shut it down. Hold on one sec. So it's got two heads. It's like, so basically this is like I was into like a lot of fringe, just weird ass shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be, someone had this like theory that there's like an underground earth, like a hollow earth type of thing.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, wow, that's pretty freaking trippy. So I just and they said something, there's like underground pyramids that would like power the above earth. So I was like, well, I can make a piece of art about that.
That's pretty sweet. So that's like what, a city on top?
Hold on, I'm not hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wow.
Did you cut out there for a second?
Can I hear you now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah, that was not ideal, but
no, but it was a cool close up.
Yeah. So yeah, it's actually one of my favorite pieces, and I want to do more. I want to do more physical pieces. I've been stuck in NFT land for fucking 2 years, and Don't get me wrong, it's awesome, but this is what I like started making, and that's like I just love making physical art.
Yeah, there's no substitute for the real thing. I mean, NFTs are great, but I mean, it's kind of nice to hang something in your house or have something that really does light up.
Exactly.
You probably do both, honestly.
No, I can. It's the hard part for me. Like it's like a time and resource issue, because the amount of time it makes to make that thing is like 10 times more than it is to make the NFT version. And I just have so little time that I end up making like the NFT version, and then it's like, oh shit, just life gets in the way, and then I just don't make the physical thing. So I need to change that.
Right. Is it building it that's the issue, or acquiring the materials, or is it just a time issue?
It's all of it, because that version that you're looking at is a completely different file setup than the NFT version. So it might look the same somewhat when I sell both of them, but it's completely different architecture for like the file setup, and then the printing is its own fiasco of I'll send. I have my friend who I've met way back when I was in just doing 3D photography like 10 years ago. He has a lenticular company, so he's like the printing pro. And printing a lenticular is no easy game.
Right.
So he's like my confidant. So like I'll prep the files and I'll send it to him. But then there's this like back and forth. Like I'm in the middle of one I could talk about.
Sure.
And basically I send him the files. He sends me back like a proof. And rarely is that the one we go with. Like usually there's either, oh shit, I messed up with all the depth, so let me do another round. So it's just very labor intensive.
What's the one you're working on right now?
Let's see. I can show you. Are we just going live now?
I'm just kind of recording it, and then I'll fix everything later.
Okay, cool, perfect. So yeah, this is my decentralized portrait series.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That one's
So
cool.
I'm doing the Winklevoss twins, obviously,
The
and
Winklevoss.
it's fun because first of all, I've never done like a landscape portrait, and especially with two people. So it just adds these different options and peculiar things that come up when you have two people in one scene. So just technically, there's just some things around the eyes. There's just some kind of minute details to me that just aren't ready for prime time yet. So so that's just an example of, I send the files, and when I'm looking at them on the computer, I think, great, this is dialed and it's ready to go. And I send it to him, and then he doesn't really know the difference of what I'm going for. So he just prints what I give him, which is good. That's his job. And then he sends them back, and then I'm like, oh shit, totally not what I intended. And then that's just the problem solving of what caused the problem. How do I fix it? And then I learn, which is the best thing. And then I send him the new files. So this one's actually going to be a lot of work, because I realized that something I have to do early on in the process. So,
but the communication between the guy putting them together and you is improving.
Oh yeah. We've always been on a great level. I think what's happening is I keep going to like new levels of like understanding and process. So like when I did that one back there, it was a lot more basic of a process, because I just wanted to like get something like done. And it's the 3D is still good, but my 3D now is like 10 times better than what that 3D is. So I'm always, the goal on each thing is to like improve on the last one. So when I'm doing that, I fall on my face 90% of the time, because you have to fail. So that one was a process fail, and which is all good. It's just part of the game.
Right. Well, you have to fail every once in a while to get better at what you're doing, and obviously you're refining things. So, I mean, hopefully that helps you with your process and, creating these cool pieces, and then maybe you'll be able to create some more physical ones in the future, cutting down some of that process or that misunderstanding that can happen. It's like, as an artist, I think it'd be really difficult, now that I think about it, to like communicate like what you're trying to create, just so you can get certain things built or certain materials, like all that stuff's up here, right? So it'd be kind of, I imagine there's a bit of a lag there trying to explain that sometimes when you're trying to like get something created.
Yeah, and he's like a really great collaborator, and he definitely has some creative problem solving when I hit a wall and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to do this thing. Like, in your technical world, do you know of a process? And he's totally helpful to be like, try X, Y, and Z, which might have hung me up for a year trying to like figure it out myself. That's kind of like that. It actually is like a true relationship of, it's copacetic. He likes to see me thrive, because, it's good for everyone. He's a printer. So if I'm printing and I'm happy, then, we both win.
Have you displayed any of your physical pieces, like at like an exposition or a museum or a conference or?
Yeah, when I've done gallery shows outside of crypto. I've actually had, it's actually pretty rare for a stereoscopic image to get into like a traditional gallery show. And I've had 2 of my pieces get into national juried shows. So all my 3D nerds are like super stoked for me. And like, it's just like, it's funny. Most of these guys are in their, 50s or 60s or 70s, because this art thing, like stereo stuff is an old man's game when you really like look at the history of it. So in their mind, the fact that anybody's getting into any show, it's just good for the whole 3D stereo world. So I've done that. And then just like crypto shows, what I started doing early on was I live somewhat close to San Francisco, driving distance. So what I would do is when a show would come around, I would just email the organizer, and this was like 2 years ago, and just said, hey, I don't know if you have any extra room or you need some more, visual pop for your event, but I'd be happy to cruise in and do an art show, right? And they would just be like, what? Like they're like, and they always said yes, but it was like, it was before conferences are what they are now, I would say, where it was truly like a speaker panel, a breakout session, lunch, networking, go home, right? It was very clinical. Mm-hmm. And the thought of entertainment wasn't even on like the radar at all. So they were like, holy shit, yeah, you're going to do this for free? Like, you just want to come do this? I said, well, for me, it's like, well, it's an art show. I get to meet some really interesting people and, just do the same thing, network and talk about art. That's really all I ever want to do. And
great exposure too. You get in front of people, name brand recognition.
Yep. And I met some random people at the time who I, didn't know. We just randomly met, and we're still friends now. And we still laugh about this random little ass show I went to that there was like 20 people at it, but it didn't matter because I met like 3 good people out of 20. So like I could go to a huge show in LA and maybe meet 1 good person out of 10,000.
Right. No, I love going to some of those shows or the expos that they do, some of the crypto ones, even the small ones. You meet so many people. So many of them are friends of mine still. At every single time I dive into one, always meet someone new. It's really cool. Imagine that's the same for you as well. It's a cool way to kind of get connected with more people in the crypto space. I've definitely gotten more connected with people through crypto voxels that way. And jumping into the Discords, man, you meet so many people in this space. Everyone's eager to show you what they're doing. It's a little overwhelming in a good way because, you go through life and everyone's sharing and, I'm always like down to listen to somebody, like whether I'm interested or not, whether they just want to get something off their chest and share, let's do it. But in this space, a lot of those ideas are like revolutionary, like thoughts that I just like, I catch myself like, holy shit, like this is another good one. Like this, the turds are sinking. And people are pretty loud too. Like they want to be heard. Like it's not only are they, being creative and innovative, but they're like very loud about it and they're very out there. And so you see it all the time and everyone's trying to, push their idea or their concept. I just think it's why you get so much innovation from different angles in this industry.
Yeah. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to go to these shows. Like I went to, it was in 2018, I think. It was the Ethereum hackathon in San Francisco. And I was still really, really fresh into crypto in general. Like I had a general idea.
Right.
But when I went to this hackathon, it was a 3-day, 24-hour show. And I got a private show, which they just said, I literally had my car packed to the gills with artwork. And there was so much room. If I had 2 carloads, I could have like set it all up. So I had this like over the top show, and I literally hung out there for, I probably slept 6 hours a night. I don't know why I was there so much. It was just so exciting. And
where are you based?
I'm up above Sacramento, so more kind of towards like Tahoe in the hills.
Oh, that's a beautiful area. Yeah, I love Tahoe.
Yeah, I have Tahoe like. From here to the slopes, I could be to them in less than an hour.
So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and I don't do it enough, but like whenever I do get up there, it's just like how I grew up in this area, so it's almost like I kind of take it for granted in a sense until I go there every single time, and it's like, holy shit, this is like just so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't been skiing up there yet. Like I grew up in Oregon and also spent a lot of time in Vegas. which is kind of where I'm from now, I guess, even though I'm stuck in Colombia. But I was always driving by Tahoe every single year, a couple times a year, driving back and forth between Oregon and Vegas, passing Tahoe, and just like, when am I going to ski? When am I actually going to get up there on the slopes and ski? And I've been there a bunch. I just haven't gone skiing. It's like one of the dumbest things that I have not done. It's so beautiful. Even the summer too. Lake is cool.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. The hiking, Lake Tahoe with a canoe. I mean, you can't beat it. It's just crystal clear water. The thing about Tahoe is they're so stringent on their boat regulations there. Mm-hmm. Like you have to they're checking the bottoms, they're checking everything. Mm-hmm. So when you take a canoe into Tahoe, like you're looking down freaking, I don't even know, 50, I don't know. It just goes forever. You can see deep, deep, deep. Yeah,
we do. A couple times we go to Tahoe, we'd bring our boat and they'd flush our whole system for algae and they'll check for mussels and stuff like that. They're so paranoid about keeping Tahoe clean and blue. And I don't blame them. Like I'd want to do that too, but they're very strict about it. Like they will not let you with your boat come in at all.
Yeah.
If you haven't gotten those checks properly. But man, it is a beautiful lake. I got to get back there soon.
Well, if you ever make it out there, hit me up. We'll meet up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll do a crypto boating event or something.
We should. Yeah, just get a little barge out there.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot of houses right there on the lake. A lot of I think a lot of them you can rent out, and there's some lounges out there. We could probably host events. It'd be pretty cool. Have a crypto event on the water. That'd be pretty sweet.
That would actually probably be tangible. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, actually, you only need to do it for maybe a weekend, a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's feasible. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
You have South Lake Tahoe there with the casinos too, so it can be. Mm-hmm. You have plenty of party to do as well.
Yeah, I'm partial towards North Lake Tahoe, but I mean I've been around the whole thing, so all kind of depends on what you're looking for. But man,
for sure. Yeah.
Okay, good ideas, and keep that in mind.
Yeah, right. Now I want to do that.
I mean, how's COVID affecting you? Kind of being in California up north a bit, is that affecting your work at all, or giving you more time to work?
Kind of both. So the place I work, we went totally work from home, and I think it's on. Geez, I don't even know. Like if this is like week 10 or something, mm-hmm. And I'm used to driving into work, so it cuts down my commute by a lot. Obviously, no commute.
Yeah.
But it gives me actually, I would say I'm probably more efficient with my actual work and also my artwork, because there's a little bit of play between the two. If I have like something I have to get off my mind, I could jump over and just like get the idea down in 15 minutes and then hop back, instead of like it percolating in my brain, and that kind of just gets me all angsty. So It's good to just like get that off onto some sheet and then keep going. So it's been good. But the work-life balance is hard when you're always at your same location.
Yeah, I feel you. The pandemic's affected everybody in very different ways. Some people doing well, some struggling. It's been very interesting for me. Came down to Colombia in February, got stuck and wasn't allowed to leave at the end of March because they shut down all the international flights. So now my visa clock is on pause, so I'm just indefinitely in Colombia until they start the visa clock again.
Wow.
Yeah, and they locked us down pretty hard for about 2 months where we couldn't leave our apartments except for going to like the grocery store. And you could only go to the grocery store like once a week. It was pretty restricted. It was not fun. But it was kind of good for, growing the podcast and getting work done and stuff like that. 'Cause it made me focus on it. I was so bored. I didn't have anything else to do. So like I bought a PS4, played that half the time. The other half the time I worked on something and felt very productive. But now I'm able to get an office, which is great because they gave me a permit to work. I don't know how I got that permit to work, but I did.
So could you, in theory, not that you want to stay longer, but would that allow you to work there more?
Yeah. Combined with the fact that my visa clock is on pause and they can't kick me out of the country for my visa expiring. So I'm just here indefinitely. That's how it works for all the foreigners, which is great, which means I can stay longer without having to file my extension, which I did. But my extension tacks on to the end of the visa clock once it starts again.
Oh, wow.
Because the migration office is closed. So I can't apply for a visa. I can't get an extension. I can't leave the country because all the international flights are canceled. So I get to be here for free like every other foreigner. It's kind of cool, which works in my favor. And then kind of like planning it out, just applied for a permit, magically was able to get it. So got an office. Now that I have an office and I have a permit to work, I can kind of do whatever I want and be outside while everyone's stuck inside.
Jeez.
So
good for you.
I know it's been a weird situation that just a gringo walking the streets able to work and do normal things while everyone's stuck inside in quarantine. It's been interesting, but it's been good for me. I've been able to get a lot of work done because of it.
That's wild.
Yeah, everything's so much cheaper than it was. Like everything was already cheap in Colombia, but it got even cheaper.
Cool.
Apartments, offices, everything. So I'm just out, just buying shit left and right, taking advantage of it.
Do people take crypto at all out there?
They're starting to.
Yeah.
There's like select restaurants and bars that'll accept Bitcoin. I run into them every once in a while, which is pretty cool. There's a couple over-the-desk crypto exchanges that you can physically go to, or I can WhatsApp them with my phone and say, hey, I need to buy some Bitcoin, or I want to sell some Bitcoin for pesos. And they're like, no problem, send us the Bitcoin and come pick it up tomorrow or the next day. And then I just go pick up my pesos and I'm good to go. It's kind of nice. I also got some crypto ATMs here, which is kind of helpful. Some of them are 24 hours, which is great. And that kind of allows you to buy and sell some Bitcoin, some crypto pretty quickly. I mean, other than that, the banks aren't really on board with it yet.
Sure.
So you can't, there's really no exchange in Colombia, and the banks won't let you connect to one if you have a Colombian bank account. So there's an issue there still, but the government, on the other hand, is very, very interested. So they're pushing for some crypto regulations to come out hopefully soon. I know the pandemic has slowed that down, but they're definitely working on it. They want to put in some voting solutions. They want to get businesses using it, create some social money with tokens and stuff like that. All kinds of cool ideas. So hopefully I can ride that wave and maybe something cool opportunistically will pop up for me here. But it's a fun place to live, man. It really is. It's awesome.
That's good. Yeah, it's a good place to be stuck.
Great place to be stuck. The weather's beautiful and there's amazing food and
and you're saying you have friends there, so you have a little network as well.
Yeah, I do have friends, which helps a lot. They can get me pretty much anything I need, so I can always talk to them if I have issues. But I mean, other than that, everything's pretty simple. It's very first world here. Most people don't really realize that. You think of Colombia as, one of those dangerous cocaine capitals and with criminals and petty larceny and things like that. But I mean, it's very clean. It's one of the safest cities I've ever been in Medellin. I've never had an issue here. I've had tons of problems in LA, in Vegas. Never had an issue in Medellin, not once.
Huh. That's good. Actually, my friend's fiance is from Colombia, and he was down there actually just before COVID hit, and he was sending me all these pictures, and it was the same thing he was saying. Like, it gets a bad rap for what it is. Yeah,
it's the people here are really trying to change that image. So they take care of you if you're a foreigner. They're very nice to you. They're working really hard to change their image internationally. And while it's still not a wealthy country by any means, it's growing very quickly. Like every time I come back here, there's a new tower going straight up. They're building vertical. There's no room in the cities anymore, so they're like growing up on the hills now. which is a good sign. Yeah. And I think crime rates have been like the lowest they've ever been in Colombia over the last like 5 years, at like a dramatic drop. So it's like one of the safest cities in all of Latin America. Definitely a place you should come check out sometime after quarantine. Highly recommend.
I'd love to. Yeah. Especially if you're still stuck down there, we'll hang out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do some party.
Absolutely. Have you done anything in crypto voxels lately?
I'm working on, I have a cat charity, a cat art show for a charity called Kitty Bungalow.
What's that about?
So I've been donating artwork to the charity for a couple years, and last year I got some of my crypto people involved. I got Crypto Kitties, Crypto Caillou. He did these physical. He does these physical crypto kitties.
Nice.
And they're NFT'd. They're really, really sweet. So he donated one of those. I ended up buying it, which is like the charity trap where you like donate something and then you start buying shit too.
Right.
So last year we did great. We raised a whole bunch of money for them that they were not expecting. And even before COVID hit, the leader of the art show, who I'm a long time, she's my old boss at LA Weekly, so we're good friends. She said, "Well, why don't we do this bigger?" And I offered to do one in Crypto Voxels, just a virtual show, and she just jumped on it and said, "We're happy to help, whatever you need." So COVID hit, and now everything's virtual, so it kind of played well into that. So yeah, I've been working on building out the parcel, and I have a whole bunch of cat themed art that people donated. Async did. Actually, I think there's like 3 different pieces that are going to be part of the show that are all cat themed. Mm-hmm. Super Rare had a whole bunch of their artists, so it's going to be a cool show.
Sweet.
And like Ogre and Myth Space and Trippiagi. There's a bunch of these builders who are doing some like cat sculptures that are going to be around, and then we're going to auction the voxel, the mega boxes and all that. So it's going to be, I think, pretty fun show.
Nice.
So
when is it? You know the date?
It's slated for the 26th, but I think that's going to get pushed out a little bit because of just everything that's going on. It's not the exact perfect time for a charity event.
Mm.
So we're still nailing that down, but it's going to be in July.
Very cool. It'd be really cool if there was like a business that like just did nothing but 3D print your NFTs. You just sent them your NFT, they 3D printed it, they shipped it back to you. That'd be pretty cool. Kind of like your cat back there.
Yeah, totally. That could be a thing.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to like have a parcel 3D printed. Like if you built like a little building or a little tower or something cool, get it 3D printed, or a cat or a CryptoPunk or one of the other billions of things out there. Yeah, that'd be a cool business, cool service.
Well, sounds like you got the office space for it. Just
yeah. Well, I need a 3D printer. Those things aren't cheap, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's a dude, a couple offices down from me. So I'm in a co-working space because it had incredible deals down here, which was ridiculous. There's an office like couple offices down from me that they have a 3D printer. It's pretty freaking sweet. Every once in a while he comes in, loads it up with something, and just starts printing. So cool.
Oh man,
I really need to get one.
It sounds like you're set up. Just bring that guy in.
I know. And next time he comes in, I'm going to knock on his door and be like, "Hey, can you print a cat for me?"
That's awesome. Yeah, those are fun. I wish I had one, but not in the cards right now.
Do you know how much they run right now?
I don't know.
So last time I checked, it was like 5 to 7 grand for like a good one.
Shit. Okay.
Not sure I want to spend that kind of moolah yet, but I'm going to consider it. That would be pretty sweet. Yeah. Have you bought anything new in Crypto Voxels? Because I saw that they had islands come out now. It's like floating parcels. Because I hadn't been in this Discord for like a month or so. So I was kind of unaware. And then I saw the auctions on OpenSea and I bought one. They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of snoozed on them at first, and I personally I'm having a little bit of trouble. The fact that they're adding more land, it kind of just like made me a little sad. But I totally understand it. So I was kind of like my little resistance against buying more plots.
Right.
But I probably, if I could buy more, I would. But at the same time, I think it's good if lots of new people get plots. Not that I'm not like any plot whale, but it's good to see fresh faces coming in being super excited rather than, oh, I got another one, like add it to the list.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know we were talking about it for quite a while. We were talking about this like almost a year ago. Like what happens when we run out of parcels and Origin City is completely full? Do we start a new city? Do we cap it? What do we do? So I think now the notion is that since Origin City is like completely full, well, there's still things you can buy, but I mean, everything's minted now. The only things that I think they're going to mint would be something kind of unique and different. Like I know he wanted to do some floating cities in the sky. So that's hence the islands that he put out. I think he wanted to do some underground stuff. I'm not sure if Ben's going to push beyond that, but yeah, there's a pretty big debate on that we've been having for a while. You know, do we create more parcels for more people to come in? Would that dilute what's already there? I mean, it's pretty small compared to like Decentraland though, which has far, far more owners and parcels. So, I mean, realistically it could scale up, but it was a lot of work. I don't know if he's going to grow it much more. So I don't know, but I think some of the unique parcels like on those islands are pretty cool. I bought at least one. It's kind of cool to be up in the air a little bit.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, personally, if there was a way to have like special abilities for Origin City, like some type of added value, or, you know, if the islands were, I mean, I like the idea of having like apartment towers where you could have people having their own little space and they could put a piece of artwork on their, like a little apartment. You could have your own little nook. Then the larger parcels would be, you know, more, you know, just more in demand and different.
Right.
So whatever. I mean, I'm just having fun. At the end of the day, it doesn't truly matter to me. But I mean, I'm just happy that I have a couple parcels I can build on, and I don't have to know Unity or any 3D modeling to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of for fun for me too. Like I have no idea where the project will end up, but there is some value in it if people, you know, actually jump into it in VR as much as they, you know, promote for Decentraland. So that's why I own a bunch. But other than that, I have so much fun with it, just kind of, you know, goofing off and creating weird shit.
Yeah, and I kind of didn't get into some of the other spaces, and now I'm like trying to get some little plots, at least on each one, just so I have something. So I'm trying to like, I kind of missed the boat on some of the early sales. I even walked around some of them, and for whatever reason, I just wasn't feeling it. And then, you know, that 10x. You know?
Yeah, I completely skipped Decentraland because they were selling parcels long before you could even go in world, like way back. And I remember them being super expensive, some of them, which was ridiculous. CryptoVox was, on the other hand, they had very few parcels when they started, but you could go in world. So I think that was kind of just what attracted me to them more. It felt like it was something that was going to actually be real because you could actually go there from the beginning. Sure. Versus Decentraland, where you're kind of hoping and betting on them actually creating this thing, and you just bought a partial that may or may not ever exist. I'm glad they do now, but to me, that's a little scary. I wouldn't ever want to pay some of the amounts people offered. So I saw like 6-figure offers on some of them, which is ridiculous. Crazy.
Man.
I don't know who spends that kind of money on an NFT. Or the F1 or the Formula One cars. Some of those went for like 6 figures. It's mind-boggling.
Well, I mean, some of those same cats float around super rare, and they just, the pockets don't seemingly end. So bless them. It's like it gives the artists, money to be artists. So I'm definitely stoked that they're around, and that they find value in all these NFTs like I do. I mean, I basically went all in, and I think it's going to lead to something bigger, and who knows where we're at in that roadmap.
Right. Do you think that they just see, some of these NFTs as art in general more than just the utility right away? 'Cause it seems like there's so many quote unquote whales or bag holders that come in. They pay an exorbitant amount of money for an NFT that has really no use other than, maybe claiming that it's art. I mean, from your perspective, do you think that it's just the fact that they see this space as artistic and maybe value that way?
I think there's maybe there's two tracks. I mean, obviously it's a lot of speculation on the artist itself. Mm-hmm. So if they see somebody and they think I could turn 1 ETH into 10, and you quantify that out, then that's kind of just hedging your Ethereum investment. Because I think if you think that artwork can out accelerate Ethereum, then it's almost like an arbitrage, or I don't know what the exact word would be, but you're just you're putting it over here, and if this art 5x's before the Ethereum does, then you could sell that, and that maybe you still want Ethereum the whole time.
It's a good hedge.
It's a good hedge for sure, yeah. And I think that, on top of that, there's just the historical blockchain side of it. Mm-hmm. So, there's different people. So a lot of my art is blockchain themed. And I think that there's a historical context to the collecting that's a little bit different than just a beautiful illustration of a flower or whatever it is. I think there's different gauges of why people buy different stuff.
Right. Yeah, I see a lot of it has to do with reputation too. Sure. Some artists in the space being around in crypto for as long as they have and putting out artwork, that kind of builds your crypto art reputation, I guess. So I see a lot of people buy simply because they follow the artist and they wait for the artist to drop something new. Because there's a lot of, quote unquote crypto art out there.
Oh yeah.
But what differentiates it? I think it just obviously is the artist, no different than in the real world.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it was maybe a little easier a year or two ago to delineate the difference because there was just a way less factor of people involved right now. I think personally, I think it went through waves because, it started early on with, physical artists like Crypto Graffiti who would do these obviously Bitcoin themed artworks that it was not hard to say well, that is crypto art by definition. It's crypto and it's art. So that's easy. But then when you start getting people who are doing art that isn't about crypto, but it is based on crypto, then it kind of becomes a definitions game. Mm-hmm. And even now, I think we're in, maybe the third, round 3 of crypto art, where it went from, physical and then into digital crypto themed, where it was still probably a little heavier crypto. The artwork itself was themed crypto, but now I'm seeing a proliferation of just 3D modeling artists who are masters at their game coming in, but to me, there's not that connection to the movement itself. It's artists across the world who are using the technology to sell digital, which is by far like so paramount to anything.
Right.
But there's a line in the sand in terms of like collectors of what your flavor or what you're going after.
Right. Makes sense. No, I think some of it or a lot of it will be driven by regulation too, because an NFT is a standalone token. I think, at least in the US, at some point when we get some more regulations that come out, they're going to have to classify an NFT as property. Very similar to something like art in general in the real world. So, there might be a lot of benefits to just owning as many NFTs as possible. Even if they are super cheap, you never know what one could be worth something someday.
Sure.
Yeah. So I buy as many as I can.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I think I'm definitely, I have my own like personal taste, but sometimes I'll buy an NFT for $6 that is just beautiful, and it's just, it hits that right button, and whatever they're going after, it was just right. And sometimes that piece gives me more joy than a piece that might sell for like $1,000.
Right.
And I think that's just part of being an art collector or an art appreciator, is looking past the label of the name and just appreciating art for art's sake. Because it doesn't matter like who has a reputation. That's all a superfluous thing that means nothing.
Right.
And it's just, there's so many people flooding into the space right now that's its own task every day, is going on each platform and just seeing what's new, because you skip out on a platform for even 2 months and you've missed like 10 new artists that are like popping amazing shit. Like they're all, every single platform, there's just so many people. And on Twitter, there are so many people that are crypto artists that I literally just don't know because of lack of time and research. And I see it, and they've been tokenizing for 2 months. And it's like, holy shit, I totally missed the boat. Yeah. Even though I haven't. But it's just like, where have you been? Like, how do I not know about you?
Right. See, I used to use additional because I could create art really, really easily, and I could collect a ton of it completely for free. There's some beautiful pieces that I got completely for free that I imagine will be worth something in the future, or at least I'd want to hang in my house. Yeah. But I think they got shut down, unfortunately, or they shut themselves down. Couldn't keep it open. But what's a good like NFT or way to create an NFT? Like if you're an artist or you're someone that just wants to create one, is OpenSea the best way to go with their storefront now, or can you still go through Super Rare? Is that process easier? Is there something else that you like to use? Just kind of curious.
I started just because I started back when it was a lot less full. I started, I was telling you I started on Rare Art Labs, and that was like an email away. It wasn't like super hard to get into the platforms at that time. Mm-hmm. So I was on there, and then I was on Super Rare. And at that point, I just liked Super Rare, and it kind of went with my ethos of one of ones. Mm-hmm. I have tried OpenSea just to understand how it works, and it's super super basic. You can do, like you said, a marketplace, a storefront, mm-hmm. and there's no curation. So that's the only other side of a place like Super Rare, is you have to basically send them examples of your work, and then they'll whitelist you onto being a tokenizer.
Right.
And I think it's there's no difference in a sense of making the digital art. And I think I always feel sad when I see somebody upset that they didn't get onto super rare, and it kind of like deflates their artistic ethos. Like I think anybody who wants to make art should apply to whatever platform, but it doesn't matter if you're on super rare. Like, doesn't change the art. So I've seen amazing stuff on OpenSea. I think the hard part on OpenSea is finding new art, because it's so vast, and there's anything from collectibles to gaming tokens. It's huge. Then there's ones like Rarible that I've seen a lot of new artists getting onto, and that's not a curated entry. Right. So for me, a nice roadmap is, obviously applying everywhere, but if you have things you need to get off your mind and get into NFT land, you can do it on both of those. And that could actually help you later on with the curated exchanges, because they can look back at what you've done, and then they can say, oh, he's done these 10 pieces they're on point. They fit the whatever their standards or whatever they're looking for. I don't know, but it's kind of like a portfolio. Like when I applied for jobs as an artist, when I first started, I had boards, like printed boards in a suitcase that I would pull out and hand people. And this is that same thing where you got to have like a body of work to get to a platform, like a curated platform, any of them. So you got to start somewhere. And I just think that anybody who wants to do it should not be dissuaded because somebody said you weren't ready for their platform. Like,
I know super rare is pretty exclusive in some ways. They really are very picky. But that's why some people want to be on it, because, the community, if you're in that community, you get recognized more just in the crypto world. So I guess when you tell people, hey, you can do it on OpenSea for free, it's super easy. And they're like, yeah, cool, but I'm not going to get the same recognition as if I was on super rare. I can kind of understand that in some ways. But it's the portfolio you put together and the work you put in. It's not necessarily just a platform you're on. I know people that are crypto artists like you that are on doing everything through OpenSea and doing awesome, doing fantastic. So it's all relative.
I think the part that some of the platforms like super rare that really benefit the artists is they have their own like marketing wing in a sense. So if you're on Rarible or, OpenSea, for example, it's a DIY marketing. You gotta be the hustler. You still have to hustle just as much, but something about the super rare platform is, they're always retweeting and liking and helping get that like algorithm out into Twitter or whatever, Instagram. So I think that is one benefit of getting into those is they are very supportive with the community. So it's just stepping stones, I mean, is super rare the end of the game? I mean, it just depends on what it's a great platform, and I love those guys, but I don't think people's end game should be like, even if I made it to super rare, it's like, well, that's awesome, but like, what art are you making? Like that's the real question, because I've seen plenty of stuff on super rare that I'm personally not a fan of, and I'm not the tastemaker, but I just think that people need to make their best art and not worry about where it's being sold.
Exactly. That's good advice too. I think we'll end it there too. I gotta run in a few, but
cool.
Dude, thanks for coming on again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's super fun. I love chatting.
Yeah, I love having these chats too. They're always great, and I know a lot of people love them. So, yeah, man, appreciate it.
And I like the video. It's a little bit more easier to like have a rapport.
Exactly. So you can see someone's face. It feels a little bit more natural, and I love being able to see like what you're physically doing too, like your artwork and your cat. And
can I quickly hold a couple lenticulars up?
Yeah, go for it. Whatever you got.
I don't want to like waste your time, but
oh no, you're good.
So I got this is my. You can
That
kind of
one's
see the
sweet.
depth on this one.
I like the astronaut.
So this was the first one I did on Rare Art Labs back in the day, and I did a new riff on it in Lenticular. And that NFT on Rare Art Labs or ERC20 is at Coinbase headquarters, so that's kind of a cool little.
I remember that one. That one's cool.
So that's my Andreas. I really like the 3D on that one. Came out nice. This is my my Snowden that hasn't really been released yet, but it just got finished.
Nice. Yeah, I love those designs. I like how they pop out.
And then this is the original Vitalik. They look way better in person because they actually pop off the page. But if you kind of think,
I can see it pretty well on Zoom.
Yeah,
it pops out.
So those are the ones I love. That's why the events are great, because people can actually walk up and look at them, and it's just you don't get it on the digital screen.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you're walking by at an event and you see that thing popping out at you, you probably want to go take a closer look at it.
Yeah,
it's a good eye grabber.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Trying to get back into physical world.
Yeah, sweet. I'll tell you what. Why don't you send me some NFT links for some of those if they're still up, and I'll put them in the description or in the video as well. So people, when they see that on the video, they can go ahead and click on it and check it out.
That'd be awesome. Cool.
Yeah. All right, man.
Thanks as always. Enjoy your time out there.
I will. Stay safe in quarantine. And
same with you.
We'll talk soon.
Cool. Peace.